10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, and happy Monday. I am so glad to be here with you. Hopefully, we're going to give some time for people to join in since today we have a new time on our show. So a lot of you are very used to seeing us at 12:15, and recently we had a recent change in schedule. So we're going to start announcing this starting today. We're going to be going live at 1 o'clock every Monday. So just a little checkpoint on that for all of you who follow this show all the time. Thank you so much. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. We actually hit our 50th show. So I'm so excited for that. And I just want to bring you a lot of value and a little bit of fun, more than education, there's a bit of everything, just a great talk. If you're already watching us and if you're already listening, please let us know. We'll send a hello, send a happy birthday, a happy anniversary, maybe an accomplishment, congratulations, whatever you think that we should be mentioning. Or if you have a special person that you would like me to interview, please send us a direct message. Let us know. We want to hear from everybody. I have a good lineup this month. We just started a brand new month. So stay with me, because today I'll be talking to you about how to flow in life using both your feminine and your masculine characters. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way.
Well, thank you so much for joining me. Today is March 1st, a beginning of a brand new month. I'm so excited to be here with you. I have such a great subject today, and hopefully everybody watching can participate on this subject. For some, it's taboo. For some, they don't understand. But for some of you, you guys are so in tune with this that this is going to brighten up your day. I have a story for you today. I have a message. So let's get to it. Hey, if you are joining me and you're listening, please let us know where you're visiting from. We'd like to send a hello and get the show going. So like I said, hopefully you guys are doing really, really good. Starting of a brand new month. What do you do in the starting of a brand new month? Well, we get all our energy going. We get all our ideas going. It's always a good restart button, right? I always say, this is one of the things I always say, right? If it fails, then restart. So this is a brand new month to push that restart button, get things that maybe we weren't able to accomplish last month. Maybe things that we're still to do, pending, right? From this past month. This is the third month of the year, 2021. So let's make it count, right? Let's make it count. So let's get right to it. Our subject today is about feminine and masculine characters. Hopefully, you guys are very in tune with it. But if you're not, I like to, we're kind of pigging back on the last show from last week, where we talked about numerology and how to uncover like your personality, your core values, who you were meant to be coming on this world. So let's say hello. I see some hellos already. I'm glad you guys are tuning in. Hi, Frank, as usual. Besos, besos. Thank you for being with me today. So let's talk right about that. And Frank, again, help me as much as you can because this is going to be a phenomenal subject. So last week, I told you guys about your characters and how, very macho or very masculine men, right? They a lot of times do not know how to uncover their feminine side. And by that, I'm not talking about anything specific or sexual driven character. What I'm talking about is the character that takes you through life, the character that's going to allow you to either be a very strong force in your life, or kind of take a step back and be a little softer and a little more understanding, we should say. This has nothing to do with sex. This has nothing to do with how you were born, or if you were born a male or a female. This has to do with the character that you develop in your life to be able to cope with different situations. So that's the first thing, right, that we're going to talk about. So let's talk about that for a moment. Let's talk about the masculine side first, right? How to discover your masculine side. Well, I'm talking to you ladies. I'm talking to all the women out there right this moment that have not yet discovered their masculine side. Who's our masculine side? Before I go into what feminine or the masculine side is, I want to tell you a story. And I told you last week that I will be talking about the river story, right? And this was a story years ago by a very good friend as I was going through my divorce. So I had just gotten out of my divorce, actually. But it took me 3 years to get divorced. So I had been separated for three years when my divorce was finally final. And 3 years later, I started a new relationship. That's kind of when I allow myself to have a new relationship, right? I needed to make sure that my life, my heart, my soul was good already before I started a new relationship. So when I did that, I was kind of messing it up again. I didn't know where to go. I was married 17 years to the same man, and he was my first love. So essentially, I was very immature in my 30s, right? So as I got into that relationship, I was struggling. I was struggling to figure out what I wanted. I was struggling to figure out how to treat another man because I was so used to, my first relationship. So a good friend of mine said, "Hey, it would be good for you to take this class that will teach you about when to be masculine and when to be feminine." And that blew my mind because I was like, "What do you mean?" "Well, I'm a female. I was born a girl. So what do you mean? I'm a female. I'm feminine." They go, "No, no, 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 no. You're actually very masculine because now that you became a single parent and that you're no longer with your husband, you have to now step up as a divorcee, right? And become the masculine figure as a character." And that totally intrigued me because I had never talked to anybody about that before. So what ended up happening is I took this course, this class, where they were teaching me how to discover my masculine side, to be able to provide and to be able to be strong, right? But I also couldn't forget my feminine side, which a lot of us women have a tendency of doing. So I want to talk to you about what I learned in that sense. So I want to tell you about the riverbank and the water story. So hopefully you're listening and you're going to love the story. So think about, what makes a river. in a river, you have what we call the river bank and the river bed, right? So this is the components that are forming that river, and whether there's rocks and maybe a little deep, the soil is deeper, the soil is higher, there's rocks in between. This is what makes the strength in the river. So when you think of the river, you think of the strength of the river, correct? So as you see this, as you see a river, when you stand and watch a river and you see the beauty of the water and the sound, what do you see? Now I see it different now. I don't see the river, just the river and just, oh, this is just a river with water. No, now I see the sturdiness of that bank and that bed. And then I see the water, the function of the water. So the function of the river bed and the river bank, it's obviously the definition is the land alongside the body of water, right? This is the land alongside the body of water. It could either be a stream bank or a river, and it's the terrain, right, that forms that river. And this is supposed to be the sturdy, the strength, the guide that allows the flow of the water. So if you think about it, the water in your story, in your river, is the liquid. That's the liquid of the bank, the flows, the ease, the peace. When you hear that, that's what you hear. You're hearing the peace of that calmness of that water. Well, if we're talking about our masculine and our feminine characters, that's exactly what that means, right? You either are going to become the river bank or the river bed, or you have to choose to become the water. So how do you become that? And how does that translate into our human daily lives? Well, this is how. If you're a female and you're a provider, you're a single parent, maybe you just got a divorce, now you're hit with all of the sudden, you're not going to be the feminine portion of your household anymore. Now you have to step up and be that river bank, that river bed, right? You have to hold it together. You're the one that it has now that responsibility. Well, if we're not prepared mentally and thinking about this, then we're always going to be hitting ourselves, because we're only going to be playing our soft ease piece, but there's no solid terrain to hold us together, right? Now, if you're an A-type personality, if you're one of those, badass bosses that we call it, that self-sufficient woman, that boss lady, that person that is self-sufficient, that, it's, I'm talking about you. If you know what I'm talking about, that's you. That's the strength. You want to be strong. You can do anything a man can do. Well, let me tell you, ladies, you can't forget your feminine side. We tend to do that because we carry so much responsibility. What happens? We're hit with a divorce. We're hit with staying with 3, 4 children, 2 children, however many you had. Now they're in our household most of the time, right? And this is just, I'm talking about a generality. I know many of you, it's quite the opposite, but I'm talking about those who are experiencing exactly this right now. If you are a person, if you're a female that has to provide, if you're a female that you gotta be that river bank, we tend to forget our feminine character, our feminine side. that flow, right? The riverbank allows us to flow. And if we don't have a riverbank or a riverbed in our lives, we tend to adopt that character and forget our feminine side. And that's a complete turnoff a lot of times, not only for partners, but for friendships, for business relationships. That's a total turnoff. So I urge you to seek that feminine side and not forget about it. Not forget that you are a female after all, and that men love to watch that feminine side of us. Yeah, there's a lot of men that love a strong woman, that love a woman that can make decisions and can, provide for themselves and not need a man. But they also love the feminine side of us, the one that gets all dressed up and beautiful and does her hair and her makeup, if that's what you wear, puts on a beautiful dress and flows like the water of the river. So, if you're a feminine woman, then don't forget to discover your masculine side, right? Let's all become that masculine side, that riverbank, what I told you, the sturdiness, the strength, the guide that allows the flow to actually happen. And vice versa. Let's talk about a man now. Okay, let's talk about this. So let's see some of the comments before we go into discovering your feminine side. Let's see, Frank, this is a huge topic that I find when dating single mothers. Absolutely. The masculine side is sometimes difficult to give up because it can be seen as vulnerability or weakness. Absolutely, Frank. That is absolutely 100%. It's a very tough, touchy subject because remember, when you're a single mother, or if you don't know this, I'm going to kind of tell you, when you're a single mom, you have to become that masculine character. You have to be the provider. Now, all of a sudden, you have two roles. And sometimes the mother role, which is the feminine side, kind of gets sacrificed because we have to provide, right? I talk about this all the time in divorces. I try to prevent them from any type of person that tells me that they're going to go through a divorce. I always tell them, don't. If there's children involved, try to save it. Work through everything. Everything has a solution except death. So for me, I can only speak from experience, right? When I first got a divorce, yeah, I knew how to be feminine. I knew how to cook. I knew how to do laundry. I love doing my nails. I love doing my hair. I love being that person that just took care of my husband. But all of a sudden, I was found having to have multiple streams of income, having to provide for both of us. Because unfortunately, I got a deadbeat one that just got up and left and never supported his kids. So, not to be a sob story about that or a sob story about it, but, a lot of men need to freaking step up and stop leaving your ex-wives because now you have a new relationship. And, I say that for women too. I know there's a few awesome men out there that are the mom and the dad. So, but what happens is you have to be able to be in tune with both characters. I had to become a very masculine force in my house because I had two boys. I had to deal with two freaking boys and two girls. So I had to be that man, that father figure now. In a dress, I couldn't do it. Well, I could do it, but I had to get my character to be that masculine side. So yes, when you're dating a single mom, understand that she's going to have to be masculine. But talk about it. Be open about it and say, hey, babe, I would love for your feminine side to come out every now and then. Why don't we have a date with your feminine side? Why don't we set out a date where you can just flow and be the radiance in the relationship? Get all dolled up. Let's go out But then she needs that masculine. So Frank, if you're being feminine, she can't play the feminine side. If you're being masculine, then she can be that water flow. You guys get it? So that's my point. If you guys are in a relationship and you find the characters within you, and you know what? Sometimes our partners, our male partners, are going to need to be that feminine because it's time for me to be that masculine and go conquer the world, right? And then we want you to be the understanding flow, the understanding scenery, right? And kind of take a step back and go, hey, babe, I got you. You know, I got you. I'll have some lemonade prepared for you. Or, something cute and just ease, flow. Think of that, right? Not strength. Hey, you got to do this for me. No, 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 no. Forget about that, right? So, oh my Lord, you guys are giving me a lot. So, hi, Francisco from Chula Vista. So, hello, thank you for joining me today. And it is a weakness. Frank Winter, I'm not sure what that means, but it is a weakness. Yes, Frank is correct. It is a weakness for single moms. But you guys have to be smarter. You guys have to be able to take that out of these women. Just like women, we have to get this feminine out of our man. I want my man to be feminine at one point and let me lead the way. I got you. What if they're sick? When a man is sick, they like to be taken care of. Well, that's the part. That's when they're just flowing. And we got to be the strength, right? We got to be the one like, hey, I got you. If you are down, I'll pick you up. If you are up, I'll hold on to your tailcoat so I can go with you, right? That's the beauty of a relationship. Now, we're not just talking about love relationship. This could be a strength in partnership. What if you have a business partner? What if you have, I don't know, a neighbor that you guys are partnering up to do things together? Maybe watch each other kids. It doesn't need to be that. It doesn't need to be that you were born a male or you were born a female. It could be two males playing both parts. It could be two females, two girlfriends playing both parts. When is one a male character and when is a female character? Let me see. Yes, hair, makeup, and hoops, earrings. Handset, right? You like my earrings today? I hope you do. But yes, you're absolutely correct. And this doesn't mean that's what makes a feminine character, putting the hair and the makeup. It's just the flow of it, right? Nothing more beautiful than seeing a couple know when to switch off characters. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I've seen it done. The most successful couples in the world, if you pay attention to them, they know when to step up the strength and they know when to ease it off. So become the riverbank or bed and the water of it at any given time. So if you are with somebody, you better be asking them, right? Maybe they woke up one day and they just want to be the strength. Let her. Maybe he woke up one day and he wants to be the flow. Well, let him. Embrace each other's feminine and masculine character, because that's what's going to get you to really culminate that relationship that you guys have and understand each other. Now, if you're doing it in business, if it is in business where you're doing it, more power to you. If there's two strong heads, they're going to bump. And you guys are always going to be struggling with each other. But if you let one kind of walk, you walk aside with each other, you let one walk forward, you walk back, and vice versa, and you both do not try to control your characters, it's a beautiful thing. And you guys can create so much opportunity for the rest of the world to enjoy. So let's talk about this, Francisco. Thank you. What about the single father? So what about the single father? I know a few and I respect them dearly. I know one in particular. The one thing that I can really tell you, okay, that it's a complete turnoff to women is men that take the role of, they're single fathers, and then they forget to be masculine. Because as a single father, you're kind of playing the feminine role. You got to go do your little girl's hair. You got to go, I don't know, pick the clothes for your little boy, which men, when there's a woman involved, they don't really get involved in that. You got to cook for them. You got to take them to school. You got to do that. You got to do this. You got to do that. And then we start dating those single men. And then that's it. That's all you do. We don't see the strength. We don't see that powerful river bank. So that's also a turnoff. Just how it is too much of a masculine character in a woman. So it goes both ways, guys. It's not just a one-side street. So don't forget, if you're ever with a single person or a single parent of the other side, you need to totally understand the feminine and the masculine characters. And if you don't, you need to really sit down and talk to your partner about this. If you're not talking to your partner about this particular thing, it has nothing to do with the sex you were born in. Okay, this has nothing to do with that. This has to do with decision making. This has to do with character and the way you act against what life throws your way. Can you imagine what a turnoff it would be if you're with a man that's always just feminine and doesn't give you that strength? It doesn't give you that guide, that sturdiness that we so much love about men. Hey, I like a man to freaking just grab me and kiss me. But if I always have that little softy feeling guy, very feminine, it's beautiful. It's beautiful to see a man that is very in tune with their femininity. But don't forget, we are creatures of habit. We love. Guess why that saying? Good women or nice women or beautiful women love the bad boys. It's not that we love the bad boys. We don't like the drama that the bad boys bring us. But we like that river bank, that river bed. We know that if we're flowing and they give us the sturdiness, we can just flow. And now we have this radiance, right, to us, because we are allowed to be women. We are allowed to be feminine. We are allowed to thrive in our flow, our ease, our peace, our sense of beauty. But when we have a guy that's way too feminine, that will eventually get boring, because then you're always going to be having to be the masculine side. I dated one time this guy that was absolutely a great catch. He was absolutely a great catch. I have to say it. It says, is there any help for fathers? Of course there's help. I'm giving it to you. Get in tune with both your feminine side and your masculine side and show it to a girl, and be dominant. But then show them that you have a feminine side. There's nothing more of a turn on than seeing a good father, especially if you're a single mom that has been screwed by men before, deadbeat daddies. If you know too many deadbeat daddies as a girl, when you see a man that takes care of their kids, when you see a man that can provide and say, hey, no, I got this, that's a total turn on, let me tell you. And of course, the courtship is always on. You guys got to do it. For all of you married men and women, don't forget to have your little date nights. Don't forget to spice it up. If you're a girl, shoot, there's nothing more sexy than a wife that can turn on this part, right? The feminine side. Go get some lingerie, get on a trench coat, go show up to your husband's job and Say, babe, I came here to have lunch with you and I'm your dessert, and open up that trench coat. Why not? Right? I'm giving you ideas, lady. If you're married and you don't have a spicy life, it's your fault. It's your fault. Francisco, yes, you can come on to my video. Actually, I'm about finished, but you can come on my video next week. How's that? I'll send you a direct message, and why don't we continue this talk? Because today, this is the end of the show. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you apply it. Let's have you on for next week. I would love to have anybody with this topic. This is a long, extended topic. And this month we're preparing. He's saying be flirty. Yes, absolutely. But man, we need you to be strong too, right? If you allow us to be the water, we want you to be the bank. And every now and then we'll allow you to be the water and we can be the bank. And together we could create a beautiful, no, I'm not. You could do this in the privacy. Be in the car. You got a break. You got a 30-minute break. Utilize it. Hey, you know, my ex-husband will probably never admit it, but I was the best wife to that guy. And I did stupid things like that all the time. That's why we got married. You know, we were married for 17 years. But you got to be on it. Has to be constant. Because if you don't, there'll be somebody that will come and sweep them off your feet. So again, guys, thank you so much for being with me today. I'll see you next week and we'll continue these great conversations. Don't forget, our time is changing to 1 o'clock every Monday. Love you all. Thank you for being with me. And we are out.
Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way.